Welcome to the Ananda podcast. I'm Sammi.
And I'm Dylan. If you are on a journey to becoming the best version of yourself,
and you want to create a life beyond your wildest dreams, you're in the right place.
Let's dive in. Hey.
Hi. Welcome to the Ananda podcast.
Yeah.
So exciting. We're finally back because we actually have a team now.
How many reboots have we done?
To help us keep on track. Because guess what? When you're running a business and growing a business in serious growth mode, and you're a married couple, and you have kids, and you've just moved countries, and your whole life is insane, it's just, you can't edit a podcast and post a podcast.
No, we tried. And
do all that.
It was very unprofessional. We'd film something and I would just press upload without checking anything.
Yeah, because it wasn't even like we didn't want to. It was just like we didn't have the time. Oh. So yeah, we're so grateful to be back and to
different format. Yeah, more professional.
To be legit.
Yeah. Well,
cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to that. New beginnings.
Heck yeah. Our shroom soda.
Yeah. Always.
No, this is like our fourth or fifth reboot though. We tried a lot of times to reboot it. We started this podcast in 2021.
I think. No, 2023, I think.
Yeah.
Regardless, it's always been the goal to have this like social initiative where we connect with our community and have deep, meaningful conversations, because that's our favorite thing to do with each other and with others. So yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes, and I'm excited to talk to so many different people and share different lessons and insights on our journey, and hope that it really helps others.
Yeah, if you're listening to this podcast for the first time, we should probably explain what Ananda means.
Yeah.
Ananda is the Sanskrit word for bliss, the highest form of bliss. And it was, are we going to go into
let's go.
So we started our company, Ananda Elixirs, during a really difficult time in our life. And kind of the question we asked ourselves to get us out of this difficult period and start our new business was, what would we be doing if we were following our bliss? And this whole new business unfolded, and it kind of became our motto, was follow your bliss, follow your bliss. And the Ananda podcast, the purpose behind it is to inspire people to follow their bliss. And I think that's how you create a better world. And so that's kind of the foundation of everything we do. And starting this podcast back up in a more professional, put together way got us so excited with, support and with, just production value. And like, I woke up this morning so excited, like giddy. I woke up with a pep in my step. Yeah. I've been having a lot of late nights watching hockey games, and I've been tired in the morning. There was no fatigue this morning. I was just up. Felt like I was 5 years old on Christmas morning. So
yay, we love that. I mean, that's bliss. That is the whole mission. That is follow your bliss. So that is how we've made pretty much every single decision on our journey so far. And that was our huge monumental shift in 2022, when basically we had a very successful business. We were achieving all our goals. Everything was great from 2020. Things were going great. And then our entire world basically collapsed.
Life happened, right?
As it does to everyone. Obviously, during the pandemic, everyone had difficult times, or a lot of people did, in various ways. For us, it was our business basically skyrocketing and then plummeting into nothingness, and having most of our income basically gone, having 2 kids at home, homeschooling those kids because the schools around where we lived were not very good, even though we lived in a nice area. And then after that, we had our second baby. I almost died during childbirth, home birth, because I had COVID, which I did not know at the time. And then a month later, my dad passed away suddenly and tragically in Canada. We were in Arizona at the time. I could not get back to Canada for 6 months and really help my family with anything. And so we're grieving. We have a brand new baby.
Our business is actively falling apart.
And our finances are falling apart.
Yeah.
And it was just like nothing we could do worked. It felt like we were just so stuck and so helpless.
Yeah.
And hopeless almost.
And in retrospect, I look at it now and I realize that sometimes what you have has to be taken away for something better to come. But we were in a really rigid mindset. You know, we thought we were going to do what we were doing for the rest of our lives. We kind of had a limited mindset with in a lot of aspects of our life, and we needed to be humbled, and we needed a new, fresh beginning. And so everything had to fall apart, and it was really, really, really hard for a few years. And then through a couple of shifts, we opened ourselves up to it finally got hard enough where we had to open ourselves up. And I think that's what happens in a lot of our lives, is like hitting rock bottom. Right?
Yeah, it was like we were pushing so hard to make this thing work, to make all these things work, pushing, and nothing was working. And the feeling that I had is, I don't want to push things. I want to be pulled by something bigger than me. And that's when we had this conversation, a deep conversation like we do in the car. And we said, what would we be doing if we were following our bliss? Because pushing all of these things to try to make them work after all this time, that it feels like the more we push, the worse they get. It was like, what if the universe, God, is trying to redirect us to something that we're not seeing because we are being so rigid of, no, this is what I said I was going to do forever, and so this is what I have to do. Otherwise, I'm not in my integrity. What if there's something more? What if there's something different? What if you're trying to be redirected? And it was like finally surrendering to that option is what made us ask this question. What would we be doing if we were following our bliss? Does this feel like bliss? No, not anymore. It used to, not anymore. What feels like bliss? And that's when we had this conversation of, well, I like health and wellness. I like having, hosting women's circles and events. And I like cooking healthy meals. And it was like just these random things like, oh yeah, I could do that on the side, or I could do this, or I could, because like we needed money. So it was just like, well, let's do something that we enjoy. Yeah. And then Dylan said, what if we started a mushroom company? Yeah. And I was like, how on earth? Because number one, I never, ever, ever, ever thought I would have a product business. Like the thought of having, especially like a food or CPG product business was like, no way. Yeah. There's too much going on. That's too stressful.
I lost a lot of sleep the first couple of months thinking about all the logistics.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking we were going to have to grow mushrooms in our
that's how we started. We like bought the spores, we bought the like grow kits, and we growing. We
quickly realized that did not work.
No.
So we started buying them professionally grown.
And they had to be like certified, like, okay, these are like good quality. They don't have any.
Yeah. But we were extracting it in our converted garage. But anyways, that's not,
But that's how it all started.
It is how it started.
And I think it's good to share the journey because not everyone, especially now, knows the beginning.
And it's not like we had like the money to start a business.
No.
We had to put everything on credit
our
cards.
last.
We had like a few $1,000s and we put everything into it. Like
within a week.
Within a week, it was gone.
Yeah. And then we just funded everything on credit cards.
Would not recommend it.
Which sucks, but it's fine. It's all part of it. Like we were at that rock bottom where it was like, if we don't change something, like what are we going to do? And then we started Ananda Elixirs, again, from this conversation of follow your bliss, Ananda meaning bliss. And we started creating these elixirs by extracting mushrooms and then trying to make them taste good and wanting to make them taste like soda because we loved all these kind of healthy soda alternatives that were coming up and being able to have like this nostalgic cola flavor, but it'd be good for me without all the sugar and junk and artificial ingredients. And so we started with cream soda and root beer. And we were like...
The first time we tried the final product of cream soda...
It's like, we have something here.
And it was Christmas, and we had family, and then...
we didn't tell any of our family that we've been working on this for months.
And we're like, all right, we want to show you something.
Yeah.
And then how did we do it?
I think we gave... Oh, no, we were going to give it to everyone for Christmas.
No, but we gave them just the drink already made, or did they have to make it?
No, I think we gave them the bottle, and we were like, this is our new business. And they were like, what? How did you guys do this? And we had been like tinkering for a couple months, trying to figure it out. And then they tried it. And they were like, this is insanely good. How did you guys come up with this? Yeah. And then we started giving it to our friends to try.
Yeah.
And everyone was obsessed with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we officially launched at the end of December.
And it's crazy. We certainly are not an overnight success. And
No.
we'll get to that. But it was within the first month or two, we had replaced our previous income with the business. Now,
3 months.
3 months.
Well,
I mean,
our low
obviously-
income.
Yes,
our low
our
income.
very low income. At the
Not
time.
the income we had before.
No, not
but
at
like
all.
we, yeah.
But like it was enough for us to just take the next step.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Luckily. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like we could feed our kids.
Yes. Which was really nice. And then from there, it was so exciting. Like I just remember after that drive coming home, literally like we just decided, I was like, how are we going to start a mushroom company? Like, how do we even do that? And you're like such a researcher. And so you were like, we just do these extractions and we blah, blah, blah. And like, we can do this and we can try this. And we just got home and we started researching and buying stuff.
Yeah. And then what happens is as soon as you tell people,
They think you're crazy.
and then they start coming in like vicious wolves. They're trying to protect you. Feels like they're vicious wolves because they're just like trying to tear. You think they're trying to tear apart your dream. They think they're trying to protect you.
Yes.
But thank God we listened to our own intuition.
Yep.
And didn't.
And bliss and following our bliss. Because everything we did was so exciting.
Like,
I remember.
how are you going to do this? How are you going to do this? You can't do that. You can't do that. And it's like, if you're not experienced there, we were experienced in this department because we had already started a business like 10 years previously and heard all the same things for a long time.
Yeah. That's where like the mindset is so important and you have to grow that mindset.
And we'll get into that.
Yeah. On many episodes.
But
what happened next? I just remember every single night during that time after we decided to start this, literally being so giddy I couldn't fall asleep.
Same.
Like I remember we would just like squeeze hands in bed, like, oh my God, I'm so excited. And it's like that's what we needed. We were now being pulled by something instead of trying to push these things that weren't working. Yeah. And then within a couple of months, we started doing farmers markets locally. I think we launched our third flavor, lemon lime.
But it took us years to actually really hit the next level.
Oh yeah.
So it was not an overnight success. And like we really, really struggled for those 2 years because it's like after hitting rock bottom, it's not like immediately or at the top. It's like it was a very, very slow, arduous climb. Like we maxed out all of our credit cards, got massively into debt. We had to sell our house just to stay afloat, move back to Canada, all these things.
Yeah. And and for that first basically almost 2 years, we were every single weekend, all day Saturday and all day Sunday. And then sometimes during the week, we were doing events, like doing farmers markets and stuff too.
Yeah. With our kids. Kids would come with us, hold out samples and
like that's
drink our samples. They would
drink
just drink
them
all
all.
of our samples.
Like that's all we could do. We had to hustle it to
a lot of hustle.
Just get like, and it was such groundwork of figuring out what questions do people ask about this product? Like, how do we talk about it? I remember the first few farmers markets barely selling anything and not really knowing how to explain it in a cohesive way that people just got it. And then every week, the more people we talked to, the more people that tried it, we got better and better and better. And so that was like our education on growing this business. And now obviously all those things that we learned at the beginning is still how we answer those questions and talk about our business and our product. So it was like so important. Even though it was not easy during that time.
Yeah, it was not easy at all, but it's just, and there were a lot of times in there that we were like, are we doing the right thing?
And it was terrifying.
Terrifying. It still felt like everything was falling apart. It still felt like.
But it was still the most exciting thing. It was still.
But we didn't like. I want to say, like, from my perspective, I wasn't perfect in the following your bliss department. I was stressed out of my mind a lot of the times because of the financial aspect.
Yeah.
I was, sleepless nights. How are we gonna? It's mostly the finances, right?
Yeah.
And then like even like you're stressed out, and so then you're snapping at the kids, and we were homeschooling at the time, and like I wasn't being present. Like all the things. There were a lot of things that weren't working out. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows.
Absolutely. But every time we got into that stressful mode, that's where we came back to, right? It was like we had to have that
like sometimes
conversation.
It'd be a couple of months of like in the dirt, in the dumps. We even noticed, when you go through such a difficult experience, sometimes it's like you start to become more negative.
Yeah.
You start to find kind of the things that aren't working and focus on those rather than being grateful and being in gratitude. And we noticed after a couple of years, like we had a couple conversations where like we're getting kind of negative.
Yeah, and we were never like that before. We were such positive, optimistic.
But I think like a lot of people through COVID, it like the world seemed less optimistic.
Yeah, well, there's just so much fear. Everyone was fearful of different things.
We kind of got into that. And
well, I mean, it was hard not to. I feel like most people probably had an impact of that in some way or another.
One of the best things that we ever did, though, was we kind of got to this point where financially the business, like we kept trying to grow it in the United States and just wasn't working. You know, like it just, we were not getting the traction that.
I mean, it's like we had a good, like the customers that drank it and bought it loved it. It's not like it wouldn't work there. It was just that the best way that we could grow there financially was doing events and being out all the time
while homeschooling our kids full time
with no family there, and it stopped working because we were just burning out, and we needed family. We needed our kids to go to a good school. We wanted to be close to my family since we had lived far away for a couple of years, and we thought, oh well, if we sell the house, we'll pay off all of our debt and have a fresh start and move to Canada and have my family and have a good school. And so that's what we did. And that was also terrifying.
That was a pivotal conversation. I remember coming to you and being like, babe, I think we should sell our house. And this is our dream house.
We just
that
built.
We worked.
Yeah.
And obviously once we moved into it, that's when our business collapsed.
Yeah.
And then we spent 2 years struggling to like
pay the mortgage.
Yeah. And when we decided to sell the house, it was really scary because, we had a good group of friends. We had this house that we thought we were going to live in for 20 years and had to give all that up. Mm-hmm. And we were driving on the road and the house had been on the market for 3 months and there was nothing. Like there were no offers coming in. The market was getting worse and worse. And we had to make a decision. Like, are we going to move to Canada?
Before it sells.
Mm-hmm. Or are we going to stay here and
just be depressed all the time?
And we made the decision. Normally we tune in, like we get guidance from within, and we weren't getting any guidance. Like it didn't feel like there was any definitive answer. And for me, we were driving in the car again, and I just had this feeling like we need to make this decision.
Yeah.
Like it's not like sometimes life flows and it's like you're just kind of carried to where you need to be.
Yeah.
Other times it feels like life isn't flowing and you have to make a decision. Mm-hmm. And I just thought to myself, like, let's do it. Let's take the leap. Let's go to Canada.
Yeah. I remember it was like coming up to a new school year and we felt like, the house will sell soon.
Yeah.
Like
there was also something else happening. Like we had there was like a date we were already going. Like
we were going to go. Yeah. For something.
Yeah. So anyways.
Yeah. For my sister's baby shower. We were going to come for my sister's baby shower.
Something like that.
So we were like, okay, let's just literally pack up our stuff and leave this house.
In 2 weeks.
And go. And we left. I think it was a month later.
With a tiny little U-Haul. We sold everything except for the very smallest U-Haul trailer because we have an electric vehicle. So we can't pull much. And we took this tiny little U-Haul, everything we owned.
Oh my God, I'm going to cry. It was so sad.
And I remember leaving the house and the girls were crying. You were bawling.
Leaving our friends.
I had already bawled the day before. So I was like trying to just stay calm. And we left and I remember driving on the highway, getting into the mountains on our way on this new adventure, leaving our house behind. And we're like, surely it'll sell in the next couple weeks.
9 months later.
9 months later.
I guess it wasn't 9 from then, but it was.
It was probably 7 months later it had finally sold. And this was, the business was not doing very much.
Yeah. So when we look back, it was like, okay, did it logically make sense to leave before our house sold? Absolutely not. Did it put us in a tough financial situation? 100%, because we were having to pay the mortgage and now a new rental house in Canada. So like
how we did that, I have no idea.
I don't know. I do not know how we survived.
I still have both my kidneys. I didn't sell one. I don't know how we did it. Like it was just enough. It was literally down to the penny every single month.
Yeah.
And we had actually just gotten in. Okay, so
how
far do we want to go into this? Because this is not what we had in our notes.
This is the story, though. We're going to do the story.
Yeah. So
July we moved.
In June, we had realized we ran out of money for the business. Like we had just put so much money into it.
So that's a good point because we were funding the business with our own money and it wasn't separate. It was just like whatever the business made is what we made, and then whatever money we had, we put in the business. Mm-hmm. So in July, we got our first round of investors who saved our butts.
They saved, so because we had put the thing out, we're looking for investors, and we had like a bunch of meetings with a bunch of different investors, and everyone's like, nah, I don't think you're valued at this, da 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 da. The last meeting we have, like we were gonna do it because we were raising like $75,000, and we were trying to get like $15,000 pockets from each person.
Yeah.
Nobody did anything, and we're like, God, how are we going to do this? This might be the end of the business. Like, how are we going to do this?
Yeah.
We are literally weeks away from
not being able to pay for anything.
Like being like going under.
Yeah.
And
Christine Andre.
We had a Zoom call with the last investors on our list. We're like, yeah, so we did the whole presentation. We're like totally passionate, you know, like interrupting them whenever they're asking questions, because we're just like, and we still do this to this day. Like they'll ask us questions and we're just like interrupting each other because we're so excited to tell them what we've been doing. But at the end of the meeting, we're like, okay, yeah, so we're like, you know, we're doing it in like $15,000 increments and that sort of thing. They're like,
we want to do the whole amount.
Can we do the whole amount?
And we were like so shocked. We were like
speechless, just sitting there. Yeah.
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 And so then
Are you sure?
So then it was like the business became separate and we could make a paycheck from the business, but we weren't having to fund the business. Mm-hmm. And that took us from, it made us legitimize the company so much. Like we got a new website, we focused on growing online. We focused on marketing, starting advertising, starting to like learn about that and test that. We started to...
And this is right as we moved. So
yeah.
we our entire customer base is basically in Arizona, the Southwest, California.
Yeah.
And we moved.
And
our main income stream was events.
Oh, and we couldn't sell it in Canada yet.
Yeah, so we moved, we literally moved away from our main income source in the business. And so for the next 7 months, our business actually dwindled and didn't do very much. And we were like, the investment was helping us reinvest the back of the business. It was giving us a little bit of money to live off of.
But I think actually it stayed pretty consistent. Like
No. If I go and look back,
no, it wasn't. It
went in half.
I don't think so.
I promise you.
I promise you.
Like maybe like that November, the Black Friday was okay.
Yeah.
But October, we were doing like 10,000 a month US, and we did 4.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe there was a couple of months. But I think like we were able to kind of do between 8 and 10 most of the months. Like we were okay.
Yeah, but I remember, so the house was like our biggest stress because it was absolutely it was draining every penny from us. Because it was like $3,000 US per month to keep that thing going.
Yeah.
And nobody was buying it. There were all these showings and we could not figure it out.
I think we had the most showings our realtor had ever had.
And he was an experienced realtor.
And it was like 110 showings.
And it is like, if you guys,
and it's a stunning house.
If you guys saw a picture of the house,
it's perfect. It's so nice. It's brand new.
We could not, nobody could figure it out.
We had fruit trees in the backyard.
I had a tropical fruit forest, guys. There were mango trees in the backyard with like fresh mangoes on it.
And like
banana trees like bigger than your house.
We had
it was gorgeous.
Avocados.
But it was all of these. I'm not going to bag on
we're just going to.
No, we're not. Keep it positive, guys. We're not going back there. To the
regardless,
dark times.
it was like a dagger to the heart that nobody appreciated.
It's like people saying your like kids ugly or
our
something.
House. Yeah. Yeah. We put so much
Screw
into
you.
it. Yeah. People were like, I don't like the color of the cabinets. And we're like honestly,
I don't like the blinds.
Take the blinds off.
Blinds down.
Anyways, okay. that was a hard few months. But okay, so then April 4th.
Oh no, but we had another drive, remember? And we finally let it go. And what I said is, I'm like, if we have to go through bankruptcy, if we lose everything,
it's fine.
I let it go. I'm tired of letting this control my life. Like, I'm tired of being a bad parent. I'm tired of being a bad husband. I'm tired of being a bad son. Because I'm so stressed that I am just snapping at everybody and I'm like falling apart. I'm done. I don't care if I lose everything. I have everything I need with you 3. I'm done. And you were bawling. I was crying.
Yeah.
And then was it that week that we got an offer?
Yeah. And then
like the next day we got an offer. And we took the kids to ice skating lessons.
Oh yeah.
And we were just like so happy. Yeah. We were like, it was their first lesson and they're falling, and
we were so happy to be in Canada. Like,
we were
it was
so happy to just like be watching them.
Yeah.
And we got a text
that we got an offer finally. Well, we had gotten a few offers and they'd all fallen through.
And this offer was catastrophically lower than we expected.
Yeah. And then by the end of that offer, which took 3 months because it was like a whole contingent thing, we didn't even get anything out of the house, basically.
No, we basically got $10,000 out of the house. It was
We were
supposed to
get 100.
It was supposed to pay off our $100,000 of debt that we put into the business. And we lost like another $100,000 that we had originally put into the business into the house when we originally bought it. So it was like a massive loss, but like it was the biggest freedom. And the day our house closed
was the day we got accepted to film for Dragon's Den in Canada. So throughout all of those months, even though it was so stressful because of this whole house situation, we were making moves to get approved to sell in Canada, to get all the licenses we need, to get ourselves ready to try and at least start growing here. So as of January 1st in 2025 is when we launched officially in Canada. We started doing the same thing. We started doing events all over the place. We were in the dead of winter, minus freaking 20 downtown, schlepping our sodas outside at Winterlude. Like,
so cold.
Like at the home show and all sorts of things. For 12-hour days, our kids handing out samples again. Like we did the same thing to try and spread the word in the Canadian market, and it started to work.
Yeah, like it's like literally from that moment that the house closed and we got accepted on Dragon's Den.
It was a complete energy shift.
There was such a shift, and the business tripled that month.
And then
more. Might have quadrupled.
It was a lot. It grew a lot from January to February, it probably doubled. And then February to March, it tripled. Then April, I think it was the same as March. And then June, I think it tripled. Mm-hmm. And then the next month June, we hit our first 6-figure month, and then kept going from there. And so literally, guys, like from 1 year to getting to Canada with literally nothing left, being like so at our ends rope, but still having so much faith and belief, and moving to Canada feeling like, even though it wasn't easy, it felt like the next step of bliss. Like it still felt like following our bliss, even though it wasn't perfect, even though it was hard, it still felt like this is the next best thing that we can do. And when we got here, and again, still went through challenges, our intentions shifted so much. We stopped being so negative and focused on what wasn't working.
We started
focusing and we were just in awe of everything. We were appreciating everything.
Like every sunrise.
We were so grateful. Like we were appreciating the seasons. We were appreciating the snowfall. Like everything that we all take for granted in our daily basis.
Felt like we were on mushrooms constantly. We were just like...
We were on mushrooms. Yeah, these mushrooms.
Felt like we were on the psychedelic ones. We were just like, life's so beautiful. No, but I will say, for me, just from a practical point, from a practical aspect.
You can keep that in. It was funny. Yeah. You can keep all this in.
So I think for my whole life, because I really, I remember when I was 4 years old and I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I remember that thought, like I wanted to like build a business someday. And I always sort of focused on the end result. So I was always focused on, like when I have like the financial abundance to like travel, and like when I have money to like have my dream house, or, all these things, right? I was always focused on the result. But for the first time during this, like right around when Dragon's Den happened, like when they accepted us, I had a shift. And instead of focusing on what my business could do for me, I shifted into what I could do for my business. And I stopped caring about how much I was making. I stopped caring about the end result of even the business, like the sales. And I was just like in the present moment, giving to the business, customer service, to our customers, to the product, just constantly trying to give. And the growth happened at the exact same time, effortlessly. Mm-hmm. So every other time we had tried to grow, it was always from like this force-based approach. And there's like the law of physics, where it's like for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. And I truly believe that from my experience, the more I've ever tried to force anything, there's always been an equal resistance coming back.
Well, that's back to the pushing versus pulling.
Whereas for the first time in our business, when all of this started growing, really was like I let that go, and I was being pulled by something. Yeah. And then the business grew to the levels that I had only dreamed of. Like, I'm like, oh my God, when we get to that level, it literally happened where I'm like, I can't let the business grow too fast because we won't have enough product to sell. Yeah. That's what it turns into. Multiple times. Every single month. Yeah. Even, I mean, we're having that right now. Yeah. But it's like, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Love it.
But it's like,
good problem.
It was such a profound shift, and it's a life lesson for me. Mm-hmm. And I'm so eternally grateful for it. And it's like actually so much easier to live in this state of mind where you're just giving. This podcast feels like that. Yeah. I was actually having conversations, I can't remember with who it was, about podcasts. And he was like, oh yeah, I have a bunch of friends who have, a friend of mine, he was saying, he's like in the personal development world, has a lot of big names who are his friends. He was saying, oh yeah, like they have podcasts, and they're like, it's a lot of work, and like it doesn't like build their business as much, and it costs a lot of money. I'm like, I'm not focused whatsoever on like what my podcast is going to do for my business. Mm-hmm. I told him, like, the podcast is part of my gift to the world. It's like part of my purpose, because it's like, what are you doing for life to give back? What are you doing for life to make this world better? That's what the podcast feels like to me. Mm-hmm. And so that's what feels so exciting about it, is that I'm not sitting here like, oh, how many listeners are we getting?
Yeah, I've literally never
it's like
thought of that either.
This conversation, even if one person listens to it, even if it's just our editor and our podcast manager.
If somebody's inspired to follow their bliss, we won.
Yeah.
One person. Yeah.
And that is such a better way to live. And I think that it actually gives better results, because people not only can feel the authenticity there, but I think that there's this flow where you're not blocking the manifestation of something that's amazing.
Yeah.
Right?
It feels that way for me too. And it's just fun. Mm-hmm. It's like, for me, this past year, and what I also want to continue for next year, which is something that we're going to talk about next, is I wanted to have more fun. Mm-hmm. Like last year, my intentions, especially moving here and having all these massive shifts in our life, was I want to be positive and grateful. I don't want to focus on what's not working. I want to focus on what is working and where I'm going, not what hasn't worked in the past. And number 2, I want to have fun. I want to be present. And I want to make basically my family and my business and my joy the priority. And I feel like we did a pretty good job this year of making that shift. And I think that is really the direct reason that the business is where it is today. And we're still just getting started. We're still tiny.
We're still babies.
But it's so exciting that we've been able to grow this much in this amount of time. And I think that is kind of the direct result of these shifts in our mentality and in our focus, and in the shift that you talked about too, of like, what can we give? Even our social media, like a lot of the videos we make, it's just like us laughing about something so silly, like, yeah, let's do that. And then we do it, and it's so fun.
We still need to do the Austin Powers one.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to do that so bad.
We will. We'll do it
We'll
do it in the new year.
I need to be a better actor, though.
It's fine.
It
doesn't matter.
I need to watch a bunch of Austin Powers to do my Dr. Evil impersonation.
Yeah, it'll be fun. But like, that's, I don't know. To me, that's what Follow Your Bliss is all about, because I think in life we have so many priorities. We make so many things a priority that aren't really priorities, right? Like, how much time do we spend scrolling on our phone or watching junky TV or whatever? And I'm not saying that those things are bad, of course.
I scroll on my phone way too much.
Way too much. Me too.
Yeah,
it's addicting. Like, it happens to all of us.
Like having a drug in your pocket 24/7.
Literally, it is. Mm-hmm. It completely is. And sometimes we just need to like veg out and do that, and that's fine. But I think that when you bring intention into your life and think about, okay, what are my goals? What do I want to change? What is bliss to me? Like, what makes you feel bliss? For me, it's like watching my kids laugh. Like, their laughter, their joy is so blissful to me. Or like traveling, going on adventures is so fun to me, so blissful. But it's also the simple things like seeing the snow falling and like shining in the sun on the tree. Yeah.
And it was like a beautiful crisp morning with the snow on the ground
Yeah.
and the sun was rising. And I was
Or
like,
the
oh my
sunset or the
God.
sunrise. Like, or for me, my favorite thing to do in the morning, I wake up before everybody else at 5 or 5:30 a.m. and I go and right now I turn on the Christmas tree lights. I turn on the fireplace. I have my little reading light.
What are you reading right now?
Oh, that's a whole nother episode.
Oh gosh.
I read my favorite little books.
Guys, if you have a wife and she's reading, what is it now? It's the Akatar
Crescent
series.
City.
Crescent City. What's the girl's name? Who's the author?
Sarah J. Maas.
Yeah.
All
Any
of them-
woman,
all of them
any
are-
woman listening to this is going to be like,
I could talk.
screw the bliss stuff. Like,
I
let's
could
talk
have.
about.
I could have an entire podcast about the books.
Yeah.
I'm not going to. But maybe
I know.
some episodes. Let's go anytime. But no. But like my favorite things: waking up, cuddling up on the couch with, my book, and like getting to watch the sunrise while I'm cozied up in the quiet. Like that's part of
Reading
my
about
bliss
mermaids
every day.
And dragon dudes and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Shadow daddies. Yeah. Bat boys. Yeah. Yeah. That's my bliss. No, but like it's that little moment in the morning. It's that little moment in the morning where I get to watch the sunrise. I'm cozied up. The fireplace is on. And I'm just like, I feel so cozy,
Yeah.
And so it's like some people don't make those things a priority. It could be
True.
going for a walk in nature, or it could be doing yoga.
That was my bliss this summer and fall.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like 4 times a week. I'm like, I got to get out of here. I'm going to go walk.
And then you would come back and you would be a happy person again.
Yeah. Just lay in the leaves for
I'm like,
2
go.
hours.
Go do your walk. Go in nature. It rejuvenates you.
Yeah. The squirrels know my name.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just feel like life is meant to be enjoyed, right?
Yeah.
If you don't love your job or your career, what can you do to start working on something at least in your part-time that brings you joy?
Yeah.
If your daily schedule is just filled with things that are tedious and boring and not making you feel alive, how can you switch it up and make the things that make you feel alive a priority?
Yeah. So
Right?
I want to talk about my biggest shift for this year.
Okay.
It's a big one. And I'm obviously not fully there. But so it all kind of started in August. One of my biggest shifts, this started in August. So our business was like growing like way bigger than we thought it would ever grow in this amount of time. And we like did not have enough stock to keep growing. And it was all badass. Every day it was like, yeah, we got this.
We're good.
We're good, And it's always like when you get that little smidge of ego, it's like something comes in just to wake you up a little bit, knocking on the door. Hey, reality is coming back.
Yeah,
So,
humble.
so
Be
I
humble.
so like I made a mistake and I allowed our Facebook ads to get hacked, which was like one of the biggest ways we were driving awareness
In sales.
and sales. And it really like threw a wrench into everything. And for like a couple of months, it just was not working. And it literally coincided to the day that Facebook changed its entire algorithm. So like it was like a perfect storm for crap, for shit to hit the fan, basically.
Yeah.
And I spent 2 months blaming myself and being out of whack and being super stressed again, like totally going out of the bliss.
Yep. And focusing on what wasn't working
What wasn't
again.
working, even though even at our lower points, we were still like way beyond what we ever could have dreamed of
Yeah.
before. So like I was so out of gratitude, so out of bliss. And I was experiencing so much suffering. And like I was reading a book and it was talking about suffering. And one of the things it was talking about was like, suffering is an internal condition. Like we think that it's something outside of us and we're always projecting our suffering outside of ourselves. But all it is it's an expectation that's not being filled. Like we have an expectation for what life should be. And when it's not that, we suffer. And I decided, I'm like, there's all these conditions in my life that I'm using as an excuse to suffer, that I'm using as an excuse to not be happy, to be upset, to be angry, to have tension. I need to stop having all these expectations. I need to stop having all of these these conditions for what life should be before I am joyful, before I'm happy, before I'm blissful, before I'm grateful.
Because then you don't have control over your joy. You are becoming a victim of all the external circumstances that you cannot control versus regardless of the circumstances, you choosing to be in control.
Yeah. And if you notice, like if you've ever had something that you've really, really wanted and you're like, this is going to make me happy finally. Maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a car, maybe it's a house, maybe it's that vacation. And then you get it. Suddenly, you're happy for like a couple weeks, but suddenly like there's a new excuse for why you can't be happy. There's another thing that pops up. This person's being this, or this thing happened. And suddenly now there's another condition that popped up that you need to be fulfilled before you can be happy. And it's like, it's like, you look at people who have this never ending need for more money. And it's like, they're like, I just need $1 million. And they get $1 million. Oh, I need 50 million. And then they get 50 million. Then I need 1 billion. They get 1 billion. And suddenly they need 500 billion. Yeah. It's like, it's not the external circumstance. It's something within yourself, a condition that you're creating, or you're projecting your unhappiness onto an external condition.
Or attaching your worth to something external.
There's a million different things there. But for me, I just realized this recurring pattern, and I just decided like, I'm going to start letting go of conditions. So I'm going to stop having all these external things that need to be fulfilled in my life, and I'm just going to start being joyful and blissful and flowing. And so that's what I'm working on.
And what happened after that, Dylan? Enlighten us.
Yeah, things started working out.
And we got our old ad account back.
All these things started happening.
We had our biggest month ever.
Yeah, things started rolling.
Right?
Oh, 5 minutes. Jeez. Okay. So, I know overcoming suffering, overcoming the human condition, I'm not going to master that in 5 years or 10 years or whatever. But that's sort of the process that I'm going through, that 2025 was a huge transformation for me.
Yeah.
And like with my spiritual or personal growth, like I think that's like a big turning point for me. And that's what I'm really excited to continue into 2026. And like, I don't know what 2026 is going to hold, but that's the exciting part. It's unknown. And I'm really curious to see what happens.
Me too. Well, I want to commend you because I feel like you've grown so much this year, and I'm so proud of you because it's so fun to watch the people that you love grow. I personally love being happy for people. I don't know why. It seems like a lot of people don't have that. It's like, I'm so happy for you. I'm like genuinely like so happy for people.
We get overly happy for people.
I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud of you. And I love watching you on this journey.
Thank you.
I wanted to start introducing kind of this whole idea. And like we said, it's not going to be perfect, but I feel like for 2026, it would be such a fun challenge for the listeners and the followers and the community to make it their year of bliss. 2026 year of bliss, like follow your bliss for 1 year, see what happens, and to hear stories, like, and to share them on the podcast of like people making their own shifts, like what we've talked about today. Okay, I was faced with this decision and I decided like which one feels more like bliss, and I followed it, and this is what happened. Yeah. These are the crazy synchronicities that happened. This is the opportunity that came because I made that choice, even though maybe it didn't logically make as much sense. It just felt right in my heart and soul. Like that's when you know you're following your bliss. And I just think it would be awesome this week, along with us, to really reflect on this year. Like what went well, what could you have done differently, or what would you like to learn from this year and do differently next year? What are your goals for next year? I mean, I know everyone always kind of sets their own New Year's resolutions and things, or like new year, new me. I feel like, to me, it's like next year, next to me. I feel like you don't need to change who you are. You need to love and accept yourself exactly where you are. But at the same time, there's always this new version that's waiting for you to discover it. And that's what life is all about, is about growing. It's about being joyful and following your bliss and being happy and experiencing things experiencing all sorts of different things.
And following your bliss doesn't mean that you're just, bypassing pain, bypassing trauma, or you're just, happy-go-lucky all the time.
No.
It's going to be hard, and there's going to be hard moments. There's going to be moments where you're not your best. It's not about being perfect.
No, exactly.
We're
but it's
not perfect.
Not at all. And I mean, I'm hoping that we'll share that pretty clearly on this podcast. But I think that, the more that we can open up that conversation and just create more of a clear vision of what does it look like to follow your heart, follow your bliss, follow the thing that makes you feel alive, and what can happen when you do that. Because I feel like for us, even though, again, the decisions weren't easy along the way, they always turned out right. And there's so many different examples that we can share as we go into this over the next few weeks and months. Like there's so many stories we have to tell about our journey in growing this business so far, and it literally keeps going every single day. And so we just hope that can help you guys learn something and get inspired by it, and hopefully go do something that makes you feel alive in your life and makes you feel joyful and fulfilled. So reflecting on this year, what are you proud of this year that you did? What's something you learned this year? What's something that you want to do differently next year? And what are you leaving behind in 2025? Right?
Yeah, totally.
And then what are we calling in? And we're going to talk about that on the next episode. We're also going to talk about the holidays and how to navigate family because, it's a time.
It's a time. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. This has been really fun.
Yeah.
And we got the nerves out of the way the first 5 minutes.
Let's go.
Let's do this.
See you guys next time. Thank you so much for listening. If this episode inspired you or made you think of someone, please send it their way. We would love for it to help them too, and it really helps the podcast. Follow our journey at Ananda Elixirs on social media. We can't wait to connect with you.